This week on Location, we're in Glasgow, trying to find a flat for the couple that just can't agree.
Despair.
That kitchen's terrible.
Welcome to Location.
We're in Glasgow, where Phil and I will be using all of our house hunting skills to find a two-bedroom city flat.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The largest city in Scotland, Glasgow is an exciting place to live. Its thriving theatre and film scenes, stylish bars and clubs, and its diverse music culture has made it one of the hippest places to live in the UK. And with the new retail development on every corner, it's fast becoming the shopping capital of the world. No wonder Gavin and Laura want to move here. He's a DJ, she's a news journalist. Up till now, they've been commuting to Glasgow from their one-bedroom flat in Edinburgh. But with Laura's new job in Glasgow, it's time to move west.
Gavin's been working in Glasgow and driving through every day. Now I'm working in Glasgow. It makes no sense at all to live here.
Glasgow has an eclectic range of architectural styles spread throughout the city, but nowhere is this as evident as in the West End. Gavin and Laura want to live here because it's one of the most bohemian areas of the city. But with some of the best Victorian housing in the UK, it means it's also one of the most expensive parts of Glasgow to live in. The value of property here has increased by around 70% over the past 5 years. Nowadays, even a one-bedroom flat can cost you £100,000. Wonderful townhouses like these cost upwards of £500,000. So let's get to work.
So, am I correct in thinking that the budget is 130 max, but you'd rather not spend that?
Ideally, we'd like to spend between 100,000 and 110. I mean, I think you'd agree, it would have to be absolutely everything we wanted if it to be, to stretch to 120,000.
We've been looking around for the last couple of months, I'd say, and there's been one or two places. There's been obviously conflict in our tastes.
Ah, conflict. You can say that again.
The problem is that Gavin likes new while Laura likes old, and we've got to find them the perfect compromise.
This sort of a style, would that be something that you'd be...
I like that. I don't know if Gavin does, but I like that.
Gavin?
That's really nice.
That just looks ugly. I don't know what it is about old buildings. I get paranoid about what's hidden and what we can't see. I like the reassurance of something that's new and just been built and doesn't have any problems.
Light and space, that's the most important things to me. Big windows, nice spacious rooms.
Enough space to park the car, I think.
The red sandstone.
I like the red as well.
And Gavin's not so keen.
So, somehow we've got to satisfy both of them. We're looking for a two-bedroom flat in the West End with a maximum of £120,000 to spend. It's got to be old and full of character, but also new and convenient. Should be fun.
Our first stop is on Hayburn Crescent, and we're looking at the garden flat of a traditional Glasgow tenement building. It's on the market for a fixed price of £120,000 and comes with a study, free on-street parking and a garden.
Time does start now. What do you think of this? Nice road for you?
Narrow, I think.
Parking? No?
Yeah, but get quite congested if there's quite a lot of cars going up and down, couldn't it?
Unfortunately, you're not buying the parking space, Gavin, you're buying the flat, so...
Okay.
See what you think.
Right then.
This is a fantastic room.
It's lovely.
Great.
And it's a cosy room, isn't it? Great fireplace.
Yeah.
It's been put in recently though, isn't it? And that looks like it needs a bit of work up there, doesn't it?
Someone has put in a new cornice in this room and hasn't put it in particularly well. Not off to a brilliant start then, but there is a hidden attraction.
Oh, I like this.
This is a real added bonus.
Really cool. I love the idea of the study.
Basement flats tend to be dark, but this one's brighter than most. And because it's a conversion, it has extra hall space where the stairwell would have been. It's got more than enough character to please Laura and even has its very own back door leading onto the garden.
It's very charming, but I don't think it's the one, I have to say. I think there's too many things we want to do, considering the price as it is already.
So onwards, and to something much younger. Gavin's had to go off to work, so Laura is viewing our first modern property. It's a new development at Waverley Gate.
It's got all mod cons, it's got 2 bedrooms, it's even got 2 bathrooms, and it's on the market for offers over 89,000. Let's see what Laura thinks.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really like the windows, actually.
Yeah.
Do you know the one thing about this place which Gavin will love?
Parking space.
And you can even watch to make sure his
he can
car's
get up in the
okay.
night.
But at this stage, it doesn't always pay to fall in love with a view.
Of looking out the window then and there and thinking, right, that's my view.
Yeah.
And they come back in 6 months when, you know, they've got it, and it's a completely different view.
It's something that your solicitor would check as part of a local search.
Yeah. I think Gavin will like it. The only thing I would say is that it wouldn't give us a huge amount more space than we've got at the moment.
New properties like this one usually come with benefits such as a fully fitted kitchen and a place to park that beloved car. But choosing new over old is often an issue of convenience over space, and this place is just too small.
You may think that brand new properties are totally hassle-free, but it's not always the case. Size matters. You may be sacrificing space for convenience. Will your huge bed or your antique furniture fit into the standard domestic space of modern homes? Measure the things you can't live without, check if they'll fit.
Have developers scrimped on the fittings, fixtures and workmanship? Check brand names. Have they bulk bought the cheapest stuff available? Open drawers and look in cupboards. Have shortcuts been taken? Trust your instincts. You're more of an expert than you think.
Developers will build on every inch of land available to them, so don't go on the artist's impressions. Will that view of mature trees and landscape gardens ever be realised? Or will a block of flats arrive in their place?
So, for our next property, it's back to full-scale Victorian values, a tenement in Hindland. We're here on Novar Drive to see a flat in a typical Glasgow red sandstone tenement. This property has just come on the market, so we haven't had a chance to see it yet.
And considering this is one of the best addresses in Glasgow, the offers over 83,000 seems quite reasonable.
Oh wow, look, this really is loved.
Yeah.
This is amazing, this bay window. That's the afternoon light, and I think the sun would go
It would move round.
all the way over like that.
And I like this second little window.
What do you think of the room?
I think the room's spacious. It's certainly, you feel as though you're breathing in it. No problem at all. I can't see anything that's scaring me.
The most positive reaction so far, but that was before Gavin saw the size of the kitchen.
Nothing wrong with the decor. It looks clean. It looks.
What do you think of
it's
this?
it's even quite stylish, but it's just the size.
When do we cook? I mean, we don't spend a huge amount of time in
You're
the
a
kitchen.
big cook, Gavin.
No.
Neither of us are.
I get the feeling you really like this place, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know what it is about the kitchen. I take great pride in my home, and I want people to come in and go, God, this place is really cool. And I think the first thing that people are going to say, maybe I'm thinking of my mother, I don't know, maybe Mum's going to come in and go, that kitchen's terrible, but it's just a bit too tight.
But the whole other flat is lovely.
I agree.
There's nothing wrong. It's
I absolutely agree.
Brilliant. There's so much space.
And
we don't need space in the kitchen.
I'm such
what
a
do we
fan
do
of-
in the kitchen?
I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it being so small.
Look, acres of cupboard. All we need is one under the sink. Look at that. Loads for food. All our dishes in here. And that's all we need.
At offers over £83,000, this flat is full of potential. I feel sure we'll be back.
If you're thinking of buying a flat in a tenement or period property, there are a few things you should consider. Check whether the building is listed. If it is, making alterations could be tricky.
Don't assume you can double glaze your windows or have a satellite dish. Talk to the neighbours and explore the whole building to see how well it's maintained. Find out if there are any major works imminent and how much they will cost you.
How do you feel about communal living? Find out who's going to be living in the flats around you. Is there a DJ above you, teenage tantrums below, or students next door? Come back at different times of day to listen out for noise.
Water pressure can be a problem on upper floor flats. Try the taps and the shower to see if you're dealing with a torrent or a trickle.
It's the end of the first day's search for Gavin and Laura's two-bedroom flat.
Just so that Kirstie and I know how we're doing, let's talk through the properties that we've seen today.
The garden flat at Hayburn Crescent didn't have enough to offer our couple for the fixed price of £120,000.
And the new development at York Hill was too small for them.
But Laura's having serious thoughts about Novar Drive, which could be a bit of a bargain at offers over £83,000. If only we could convince Gavin.
The one problem I had with it was outside. It lacked any individuality. There must be about 500 flats in that street, and I would imagine bringing a friend, parking outside, and my friend saying, "Where's your flat, Gavin?" And I'd go, "It's one of those."
I really liked it. I did. I really liked it.
It's a good price for a flat in that area.
I absolutely agree, and I think if you compare to the garden flat, fixed price 120,000. Obviously, its offers over 83. It's going to go for 100. I would expect, but I think you're getting an awful lot better value in all ways. The actual flat itself, the location, everything.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. It would be very nice walking up here and heading on the way home.
Day 2, and we're on the search for Gavin and Laura's ideal two-bedroom flat.
And this next property has everything Gavin has dreamed of. It's got a garage, it's brand spanking new, it's got a great shower.
Okay, look, it's a good shower. The pressure's not great, but it's definitely hot and it heats up really quickly.
Let's feel it then.
And although it's a little on the small side, it's beautifully finished and very snazzy.
It's a lovely new kitchen.
Oh yes, I like that as well. That makes a difference.
No space for dishwasher, I'm afraid.
I thought you wouldn't like the lounge. Are you happy with the lounge?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like it to be bigger, but I like it. I do like it. I don't like the outlook, and I also have a vision of a drunk person standing on that wall and like banging on my window.
I'll try not to do that too often. I would hand over them money if I had it right now. I'd take this place. I think it's gorgeous. I think the finish is fantastic, and the one thing that the handful of things that appear to be a problem aren't a big problem to me.
I could live here. It would be easy to live here. It would be absolutely easy. It would be simple, straightforward, no problems. But I don't think I love it. And I want to love it.
Gavin's sure he's found his new home, but Laura's still attached to the character of Novar Drive. This is a classic case of new versus old, and one of them is going to have to compromise. What they don't know is that we may have found them the solution to all their problems. Join us after the break. We're in Glasgow and searching for the ideal two-bedroom city flat for our couple, Gavin and Laura. So far, we've seen 4 properties, but they just couldn't agree on any of them.
I would hand over them money if I had it right now. I'd take this place. I think it's gorgeous.
I don't think I love it. And I want to love it.
Well, you might have found them the perfect compromise. It's a converted mews flat tucked away at the back of a tenement block.
Well, we're pretty excited about this one. It could be the perfect compromise. You might both end up loving it.
We're in Botanic Crescent, which is a stone's throw from Laura's work. This property is on the market for offers over £85,000.
Ooh.
Nice and white.
Ooh, we like this. Wow.
Strong first impression that
Definitely. It's so bright.
I know, so bright.
So bright. This kitchen is lovely as well. I love this.
It's great, this kitchen,
Yeah.
isn't it? And it's all brand spanking new and really smart.
I like the chrome actually. It's really nice.
Enough cupboard space for all your pots and pans, Gavin?
It's a top kitchen and beautifully finished. But there is one tiny issue for our couple.
The logical place for your fridge would be here. But if you're going to have a tall fridge,
this kind of height, which you want a fridge freezer, it's not going to be that narrow.
Yeah.
So one of these two is going to have to be moved. It's all minor, but my point is be vigilant. Even with a developed building or property, don't think that it's all been done for you. That's that one. Oh, that one. Oh,
The inventiveness used in the interior design is really refreshing, and added to all those floorboards and white walls, the flat has a great feel.
Bright, spacious, room for a double bed.
But is it all going too well? Now, why do I have that sinking feeling?
I didn't see that the first time we came in, Kirstie. That's quite a bit of damp. That's the line of the roof. There'll be a gutter or a drain pipe. It's either blocked or it's got a hole in, and that will definitely need attention.
So, a bit of a downer after the initial surprise, but hopefully it's not too serious. It's obvious that Gavin and Laura really like Botanic Crescent.
It's day 3 and time for our second viewings. In the battle of old versus new, Novar Drive, my favourite, has fallen by the wayside. Gavin and Laura decided they loved the character of Botanic Crescent, but the dampness is a cause for concern. So it's competing with the pristine pizzazz of Parkside House. And so we're off to see them both again.
First up is Parkside House, and it's on the market for a fixed price of £119,000.
While you're inside, I'm going to go and check out the area, so I'll catch up with you later.
See you later. Second viewings are about specifics. We've come back into the sitting room because I reckon that Gavin and Laura's furniture won't fit. They've got the measurements. We're going to mark it out on the floor with the tape. Here's the tape measure. Let's get going.
Marking out the furniture is absolutely invaluable and a great way to take the shine off your imagination. Uh-oh.
If you're sitting on the sofa, you can put your feet up in the chair. It's one way of looking at it, but yeah, you can see there's not going to be much room, is there?
No. Empty flats can be very misleading. You walk in, you think, wow, look at this space. You hear your voice echoing up to the ceilings and you think, this is huge. But then, when you mark out your furniture, you're amazed.
On a second viewing, it's really important to check out all around the property. You might just find your ideal home backs on to the back of an enormous boozer. This is a very big pub here. Does it get really busy?
It does on a Friday and Saturday night, to be honest. We'll build up for the weekend on Thursday as well. The majority of the reason that people come here is relaxed atmosphere and a huge beer garden.
If you were looking for a flat in Glasgow, would you consider buying a first floor flat in the block behind?
To be honest, when we watched those flats being built, we did feel sorry for the people who move in there for the noise that comes from us.
There's no question over the quality, but this second visit is definitely bringing out the things Gavin and Laura hadn't noticed yesterday.
Is this more space than you have at the moment?
It's less space than we have.
No, I think it's more. I feel as though it's longer, this room.
We're bursting out of the cupboards we have, and these cupboards are smaller.
We've got a huge storage cupboard in the hall.
But you can't keep your undies in the hall.
Second viewing is the time you have to face facts, and Parkside House is just not big enough for them. But we still have the Muse flat in Botanic Crescent to look at. It's on the market for offers over £85,000.
There's been quite a lot of structural changes in the refurbishment of this, and the person buying this property would have to let his solicitor know that there have been alterations. His solicitor will then raise the inquiries of the seller's solicitor and make sure that the seller had building regulations and any planning permission for those alterations. Because when they came to sell it, rest assured, the questions would be asked to them. If they didn't have them, they'd be left high and dry.
But while Laura thinks about the layout, Gavin's still got damp problems on his mind.
It's very damp.
It's very random as well, in the sense of fine up here, but then a gap.
We did have a lot of rain last night, didn't we? I would say that it's a problem, it needs rectifying, but I wouldn't imagine it's a big problem.
That patches can look scary, but they are often simple to sort out. What you need is to get a decent look at the root of the problem.
I've come up here to find out what's causing the damp in the bedrooms. I suspect it's the moss and leaves which are blocking the gutter. Every time it rains, they overflow and the water runs back into the house. If this is the case, it's an easy problem to sort out.
I just love it. I've never seen anything like it. It's everything I want with everything Gavin wants. It's old, but it's new inside. I love it, the fact it's quiet, it's off the main road, but the road outside is lovely. The kitchen's fine, the bathroom's fine. It's just a case of adding ourselves to it and our own touches and our own taste.
So are you now happy that you've seen enough properties and that you're comfortable with this property?
Yes, definitely, I am.
Yeah.
Sure?
Uh-huh.
It's a very big decision that you're taking.
It's a huge decision, but I can't imagine liking anywhere as much as I like this place.
It's still conditional. And that's obviously with the dampness that we've seen. Mm-hmm. We need to get that sorted.
Yeah, get that investigated, but otherwise I think.
Are you ready to note an interest?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You feel that you've seen enough properties?
Oh, get on with it, give me the phone.
Okay.
There we go. Big call.
In Scotland, noting an interest shows the seller that you are seriously interested in buying the property, but doesn't bind you to it.
Thanks very much, Angela.
Okay, thanks
Cheers.
again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Why was I nervous? How many people do I phone every day?
The next step is to get a survey done. The surveyor will check for any horrors or potential problems. We agreed to meet Gavin and Laura back at Botanic Crescent a week later to find out the news and, all going well, to make a bid.
We heard you had a survey done. What did it tell us?
More than one thing, which I think was the problem.
Firstly, the boiler was in the wrong place.
Really?
I don't know if you remember, it was in a wall
Corner of the living room.
the sitting room, and he was worried it would cause dampness in years to come. The second thing was one of the outside walls, which he felt was beginning to bulge. The other thing was the wall that came from the block of flats onto the mews, which had the bathroom underneath it.
Yeah.
He also wasn't sure who was legally responsible for that. And also the roof, which, I mean, we noticed ourselves when we had a look, didn't we, that it hadn't been overhauled like the rest of the place had, and he was just concerned basically that in 5 years' time that, we'd have to redo the whole thing, which obviously would end up being a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you've withdrawn?
Yeah.
And moved on. I mean, you've got to be entirely comfortable. It's a massive decision for you to take. It's not our decision.
For Gavin and Laura, there were too many potentially big problems with the Botanic Crescent property. But you shouldn't always be put off if the survey seems bad.
It's worthwhile getting a builder to quote for any work that needs doing. This will give you the ammunition you need to justify your bid.
That's all we've got time for in Glasgow.
We found Gavin and Laura their perfect flat, but it wasn't to be.
They're back searching again, but wiser to what they want. We know it's out there and we're convinced they'll find it.
See you next week.
Bye.
Gavin and Laura followed our advice and went for the model of an old building, new interior. They put in an offer of £115,000 for this apartment, and they move in next week.